We've seen a lot of fantastic earbuds in this year's Earbuds Awards video, the very best performers in various categories, but a lot of those were very expensive. DVLA's Gemini 2 sound incredible, but they're also $450. So as promised, I'm back with another list of the best earbuds on the market that fall within a certain price range, and the first category you all voted for was the best earbuds under $200. Now, if that's still a bit too high for your budget, don't worry, I will be following this up with the best earbuds in cheaper price ranges as well. I've factored in a number of aspects beyond just sound quality, like phone call performance, noise cancellation, connectivity specs, all of these different things to get a list of the best earbuds overall. There may be some overlap with the Earbuds Awards, but also some really interesting new options we've not yet featured on the channel. Let's take a look. First up on the list is Creative's Aurvana Ace 2. This is a really interesting entry because they often get completely overlooked, and perhaps that's fair given Creative's track record. I've reviewed all of their earbuds so far and they've increasingly struggled to keep up with the competition until now. The Aurvana Ace 2 are a massive step up in quality and performance. They narrowly missed out on this year's Earbuds Awards as one of the best performers for the mic quality.
So what I found with the mics is that they can be a bit on the quiet side, but the background noise is really low. We've got tough conditions here with both wind noise and loud passing traffic behind me, but hopefully my voice is coming through clear and sounds quite natural. I tested these in a range of environments, and even when you've got a lot of external noise, these are a great choice for phone calls.
They've got an interesting translucent design with copper and black accents both on the case and the buds themselves. They're super lightweight, really comfortable, and have simple touch controls. The spec sheet is also impressive with Ottocast and aptX lossless support, wireless charging, and an IPX5 protection rating. I found them to be an excellent choice for gaming as well. Even if you're not using the lossless codec, the latency is extremely low with the low latency toggle. These are the first earbuds to house XMEMS drivers for a faster and more precise response than your typical dynamic drivers, so you get a clean, distortion-free and well-separated sound across the range of frequencies. I'm sure most people will be impressed with this well-balanced sound, even if it doesn't quite blow you away like some of our other entries might. They're by no means perfect, there's no wearing detection here, the noise cancellation and battery life is only average, and the primitive app leaves a lot to be desired, in particular with the EQ options. But at $129.99, these are one of the best value earbuds on the market, full stop. Entry number 2 is one I must admit I'm cheating with a little bit. They initially retailed just above our $200 price cap, but are currently discounted well below it. And to be honest, they'd be worth featuring here either way because they're just that good. The Melomania series is featured on the channel before and has always performed well, particularly with the sound quality. The new M100 maintains that record and comes with a more modern spec sheet. But forget the aptX lossless, wireless charging or game mode support, the 16-hour battery on a single charge here absolutely steals the show. That's on par with the market leader and just an insane feature to have. You don't have to suffer a bulky and cumbersome design either. The fit and comfort is fine. They fit me quite securely actually. And they also support in-ear detection, responsive touch controls, and perhaps my favourite feature of all, the option to have the distinctive voice of Matt Berry for your voice prompts.
You really are the most devious bastard in New York City.
The only thing that bugs me is that the auto pause feature only activates when you remove both earbuds, not just one. That's a bit inconvenient.
The ANC is effective, the transparency mode is good, though it does have quite a hiss to it, but as you might be able to hear now, the mic quality is an area of weakness. Now in a quiet room, you'll probably be absolutely fine, and in fact, listening back to the samples I took here for testing, they also sounded pretty good. But I did find that when you've got a lot of background noise, your voice quality does tend to suffer during phone calls.
You get a more comprehensive app experience here, in particular with adjusting the sound, which, as you might have guessed, is absolutely fantastic. You get powerful, punchy bass, a spacious and clear mid-range, and well-detailed treble. You might just need to tweak this a little in the app. I've only heard one pair that falls under our $200 price cap that sounds as good as these, and yes, I will talk about those later. The Melomania M100 deliver flagship quality in a simple yet elegant design with really only one main weakness, but with the current Amazon discounts, they're an absolute steal. Next up, we have Nothing's Ear, so that's the new model released this year and not the original Ear 1 or 2 models. This is their flagship and quite an improvement over those two as well. So obviously these win the design award because that transparent look for both the charging case and the earbuds is just fantastic. I've said before though that nothing is far from style over substance, and this new model in particular has an impressive spec sheet. Water resistance, which includes the case, fast and wireless charging, high-res codecs, and an improved battery life over the predecessors. The earbuds are on the smaller and lighter side, which makes them fantastic for comfort. I find the fit just about secure enough to run with these as well. You get a good range of gestures for the squeeze controls, so you can keep skipping tracks, the ANC switcher, and volume control all at the same time. Plus there's a handy auto pause and play with wearing detection.
Two things that haven't really improved from previous models are the ANC modes or the transparency modes. The ANC especially is just mediocre, even on its adaptive or its highest setting. One thing that definitely has improved though is the mic quality. I've currently got these ranked in 5th, and that's from a list of over 180 earbuds, and even though they can make your voice sound a bit robotic, they just isolate so well, so hopefully you can hear just how clear they sound.
In keeping with Nothing's cool aesthetic is the companion app, which offers a surprisingly robust set of features, in particular this advanced equalizer that even hardcore audiophiles can get excited about. I personally like to boost the treble from the stock settings, and unlike with previous Nothing earbuds, doing so lets you maintain that punchy bass response. Nothing has really improved the clarity and depth with the audio as well, and the quality might surprise you. You don't get as full or rich sounding audio as the M100s, but the vocals especially sound really crisp and clear here, and I think these get a bit louder too. It might not seem like a lot has changed, and Nothing now, confusingly, has 3 near identical earbuds in both name and appearance circling the market, but I'd urge you to go for the new ear model because it really is a nice step up in quality. The cheaper Ear A variant that launched alongside it is arguably even more impressive, so you can expect to see those in my best under $100 video. The 4th entry is Edifier's NeoBuds Pro 2. Now, these did feature in the Earbuds Awards video, so some of you will know these are good, but I still think not enough people are talking about these. From the design, they look just like the original NeoBuds Pro. It's a comfortable design that fits well, and the appearance is pretty sleek. The customizable light bar on the case makes these unique as well. I've said before though that they still have the same unresponsive touch controls, and the battery life is pretty poor by today's standards at just 4 hours with ANC. Oh, and there's no wireless charging here either. There are still flaws, but they've got it where it counts. First of all, with great connectivity specs, including Google Fast Pair and a game mode. They've got effective ANC and transparency modes, each with a lot of ways to customize the level and the type of noise filtering.
And of course, the reason they made it into the Earbuds Awards this year was for the mic quality. They do a really good job of isolating your voice even in loud environments, and that makes them great for calls. I've got these just ahead of Nothing's ear, and I think these are the best option in this video for phone calls.
And still, you probably won't find reviews praising this as NeoBuds' best feature. You could argue it's the sound quality. Edifier delivers a really energetic and dynamic sound profile straight out of the box, and I think this will really appeal to the average listener. You get that deep, almost booming bass paired up with crisp treble. So there is a bit of a V-shaped tuning here, but this does tend to be quite popular. This is the first entry to offer head-tracked spatial audio as well. I've got these a few ranks lower than the Melomania M100 on account of not quite offering as good balance or clarity, but these are certainly a very strong performer when it comes to sound quality. What's nice about Edifier's earbuds is that you can often find them heavily discounted on Amazon, but even at their full retail price of $129.99, they're excellent value for money. Just before we go on, a quick word on this video's sponsor Ottocast. They sent me over their new OttoAiBox P3 recently, which is admittedly not specifically related to this video, but a product you might find interesting nonetheless. This tiny box is a 3-in-1 entertainment system, offering wireless CarPlay, Android Auto, and their own AutoDrive 2.0 software, which is powered by Android 12. You simply plug this into your car's USB port, and then you can seamlessly switch between these systems, interacting with them using your car's inbuilt infotainment system. It can utilize both Wi-Fi and cellular connections, either tethered from your phone as usual, or you could make this a fully independent device by adding its own SIM card. Converting your wired CarPlay and Android Auto into a wireless system is convenient for obvious reasons. I now just get into my car with my phone still in my pocket and have my maps and music load up automatically. But the real USP is in that third AutoDrive software, because here you can enjoy apps like YouTube, Disney+, Amazon Prime, and a whole lot more. Obviously only when you're parked up and not driving. This is essentially like having an Android TV system in your car. In fact, there's an included HDMI port on the P3 in case you wanted to use this as a smart TV box in your home. There's a whole lot more to go into with this, what it can do and how it performs, so if you'd want to see a full review on this, then do let me know in the comments. For now, I can say I've been impressed with it from my testing so far, and I'll leave links to this in the video description for those interested. The fifth entry is the newest and has just managed to sneak under that $200 price cap, and that's JBL's Live Beam 3. Now, I did try the Live Buds 3 that launched alongside them. They're almost identical in features and performance, it's just a case of the design you prefer. I prefer the stem design of the Beam 3, but you can essentially swap the Buds 3 in instead. These look similar to JBL Buds we've seen before. They're comfortable and fit securely, but the big new feature with this latest series is the smart charging case. We saw this with JBL's Tour Pro 2, and it essentially gives you the vast majority of features and controls from the app directly on the touchscreen of the case, so you never have to get your phone out of your pocket. Now, in practice, that's exactly what I do, but it is a big benefit when I'm paired to my Apple Watch, for example. There's no companion app there, so the case gives me much more functionality that I'd otherwise be locked out of. I can now just take the case with me on a run and not my heavy phone, so the smart case definitely can come in handy. JBL offers some of the most well-rounded earbuds on the market these days because they're just packed full of useful extra features. Smart Talk, hands-free Google and Alexa, plus loads of ways to personalize or improve accessibility. They're not shy on specs either. IP55 protection, a huge 12-hour battery life, and high-res listening with LDAC.
They've got pretty decent mics for phone calls as well. They keep the background noise reasonably low and your voice relatively clear. I also like that they've got some personalization tweaks specifically for phone calls, like adjusting the tone of you or your caller's voice, as well as a feature to use one mic up close to your mouth for a more private call. There's really no major weakness to the earbuds at all.
Alright, the ANC isn't the strongest, but I'm definitely giving higher marks for the transparency mode thanks to the talk-through feature in addition to ambient aware. This lowers your music volume whilst it's active. I guess you could say the sound quality isn't at flagship level either. In typical JBL fashion, it's a little bass heavy, though there are lots of you who actually specifically want this. The mids are scooped, a bit like the NeoBuds Pro 2, though these don't have the same sparkle in the highs, but it's certainly a clean and relaxing sound. You can definitely enhance the sound with one of the many EQ options, there are spatial sound modes to play around with, and you can protect your hearing with a max volume limiter as well. I think the key thing about the Live Beam 3 isn't actually the unique smart case, it's just how many features are on offer here. You can see why these push that $200 price cap right to its limit. Next up is another former Earbuds Awards winner, Soundcore's Liberty 4 NC. These are easily the best value entry in the list because at $79.99 they'd make it into a best under 100 video as well. It's seriously impressive to be competing ahead of big name earbuds double their price. I'll keep this short since I've got an in-depth dedicated review on these for you to watch if you're interested, that's linked down below. But essentially what you should know is that they're another great all-rounder, ticking the boxes pretty much across the board in terms of specs and features. They're a good choice for gamers, they've got strong battery life and connectivity, a light and comfortable design, and the companion app is excellent and easy to use. I've got no major complaints at all. They have particularly effective noise cancellation. That was their award category before, and in terms of ANC performance to cost ratio, it doesn't get better than this. These do a very impressive job of blocking out your surroundings, the best of any of the earbuds in this video.
The mics on these are pretty good as well. They isolate your voice from the background noise quite strongly without altering or muffling your voice too much. So if phone calls are important to you, then these would also make a pretty good choice.
I guess you could say the sound quality is the weakness, and not because it's bad at all. That's just relatively one of its lower ranking attributes. These are the lowest entry in terms of sound quality. They're still really well balanced, the sound is relaxing, and these are one of the best sounding earbuds for their price. They're just lacking the clarity and detail that some of our other entries have. The bass still hits hard though, and one thing that might sway you is the volume. These get ridiculously loud. I've named these the best earbuds under $100 before, and they still make it into a best under $200 video as well. That really speaks for itself. The Liberty 4 NC are outstanding value for money. Now we've got one that I imagine no one is surprised at. Certainly not long-time viewers who've heard me talk about Sony's LinkBuds S many times on the channel before. These earbuds, well, they're just brilliant really. They've consistently ranked towards the top, they featured in the Earbuds Awards multiple times, and they strike such a great balance of all-round features, flagship quality performance, and yet are very reasonably priced. They have so many unique extras that make them more convenient than most other earbuds. Quick attention, tapping and holding the earbud to temporarily enable transparency, speak to chat and other hands-free features like built-in Google Assistant or Alexa, those are extremely rare, and then you've got adaptive sound control for intelligent ANC switching. The earbuds themselves are super lightweight and small, so they should fit most ears comfortably. They've got a great control system that can be customized to your preference. I think really the only downside is the lack of wireless charging for the case. They've got decent battery life though, good connectivity specs. Again, these tick most of the boxes.
The microphones on Sony's newer earbuds, the LinkBuds S included, are very good. They tend to capture your voice in a much more natural way than most other earbuds, which tend to distort it. Now, they do consequently let in more background noise as well, but in general, these are still a very strong performer for phone calls.
The ANC is effective as well. It's not just a case of having clever adaptive modes, they also block out noise pretty well. The transparency mode is especially good, one of the best on the market, and you've got a custom slider to control how much noise is filtered in. And then we get to sound quality, which in typical Sony fashion is crisp, clear, and well detailed. The bass doesn't thump as hard as with the NeoBuds Pro 2, and I think nothing has a slight edge on the vocal clarity and treble, but they're nicely balanced and certainly punch above their weight in terms of quality. The LinkBuds S are 2 years old, and yet are still one of the best options on the market. I should say that a growing number of you have commented to say that you began to encounter issues like the battery degrading over time with these. Now, I don't know if that's just a loud minority of you or indicative of a wider problem, but even though I'm yet to encounter any issues myself, it does feel like something worth mentioning here, just in case you wanted to avoid LinkBuds for now. Still, I personally really like them and would highly recommend them. And our final entry is one that caught me by surprise. The shock news that Jabra, one of the industry leaders, is bowing out, has presented us with a unique opportunity. They announced their final earbuds in the Gen 2 versions of their Elite 10 and 8 Active, and whilst they'll continue to offer support for existing earbuds, they're sadly not making any more. But it's meant that their previous flagships, not even a year old, are now heavily discounted, and it brings their incredible Elite 10 earbuds below our $200 price cap. You may remember that these also featured in this year's Earbuds Awards as one of the best all-rounders. They've got a unique edge in their ergonomics and these oval-shaped ear tips that create an almost semi-open fit in the ear, which is excellent for comfort. The 10s are packed full of customization tweaks, not just for the sound or controls, but some clever options for phone calls as well. The companion app remains one of the best. With an IP57 protection rating, this is the only earbud in the video that you can fully submerge underwater. They're the only option with tactile button controls as well. I know some of you much prefer these to touch controls. The spec sheet is rounded off with a battery life that, in reality, far exceeds Jabra's claims. There's wireless charging, useful connectivity features, it's a pretty complete package. They've got excellent noise cancellation as well, made even more impressive by the relatively gentle seal you get in the ear. The transparency mode is also clear and hiss-free.
The Elite 10s might not be able to compete at the very top for mic quality, as Jabra has done in the past, but that's not to say that the mics aren't still good. You'll get more than average performance in the vast majority of situations, so these aren't a bad choice for phone calls at all.
One aspect that Jabra really ramped up over predecessors is the sound quality. The clarity improvement especially now allows these to compete near the top. You get deep bass and a warm tone that overall provides a relaxing sound. The slightly rolled off treble means these aren't winning any prizes for sound quality, but most people will be more than happy. You've also got head-tracked spatial sound with Dolby Atmos here. That could be enticing to some of you. You might need to shop directly at Jabra.com to find the sub $200 price, but I can easily recommend you do so. The newer Gen 2 versions only offer a minor addition that doesn't justify the price, so take advantage of the fact that a pair of earbuds normally worth $250 are available right now for an absolute bargain. If you prefer a more sporty variation, then the Elite 8 Active, the world's most durable earbuds, also fall under $200. They share most of the same features with the Elite 10s, but I do have a detailed breakdown of the full differences linked down below if you're interested. Now, before I summarise and show you how those 8 earbuds stack up against each other, I wanted to quickly shout out some honourable mentions. The first would be the OnePlus Buds Pro 2, another great all-rounder with excellent sound quality and a gorgeous design. those would have technically been in 9th place against these 8, and I've got a dedicated review on those that I think's worth checking out. The next is Sennheiser's Momentum 3. They've just recently been discontinued on the US store, but can be found online for under $200. I bought the new Sennheiser Accentum recently and expected to feature those in this video, but after thorough testing, they ended up ranking a few places lower than the older Momentum 3. So despite their age, they're definitely worth considering, especially if you put sound quality far above anything else. And the final shout out is for Fairbuds from Fairphone. Now, to be brutally honest, these don't really compete in terms of performance with the other entries, but that's not what Fairphone is about. Their aim is to design products that put the user and the environment first. They created modular phones and headphones, and now they've done it for earbuds. So unlike almost every other earbuds on the market, you can actually replace the battery in both the earbuds and the charging case yourself. You don't need to buy a whole new set when it inevitably dies. These are designed to last, and yet they still feature ANC, water resistance, and multi-point, just like all of the others. Most companies don't bother making their earbuds user repairable. They want you to buy their new model every year and create more e-waste. I really love what Fairphone is doing and what they stand for as a company, so this isn't sponsored or anything, I just think you should check them out. Alright, that's been a whole lot of information, so let's take a final look at how our 8 finalists compare. Hopefully this chart will make it easy to see which features you're looking for in a pair of earbuds, so do pause the video if needed. And now if we switch to the ranking chart, you can see that the running order was from 8th to 1st in terms of the overall performance. Now remember, that's just using my algorithm that tries to prioritise things that people tend to care about more, like sound and mic quality are higher than battery life and codecs. But everyone is different. Everyone has their own priorities for earbuds. So please use this video to see which model would be your number one pick instead. They're all fantastic options, each in their own way. Obviously, a lot of in-depth testing goes into making these videos behind the scenes. I can't talk about every single feature and result, so please ask any questions you may have. Don't forget that I'm following this up with the best earbuds under $100 as well. There were some really interesting results in that one, and I'll be doing the same for over-ear wireless headphones too. So lots of interesting content coming up on the channel, and if you want to be notified when that goes live, make sure you're subscribed and have hit the bell icon. If this video was helpful at all, even if just to tell you what not to buy, please give it a like, and thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.